Hello everyone, I'm Danny Stephen from MakeUseOf.com, and today we'll be taking a look at the Toshiba CB35 Chromebook right here. This is a 13.3-inch Chromebook that is a direct competitor to the Samsung Chromebook 2. However, the Samsung Chromebook 2 is almost $400, while this one is at $300 or less depending on where you get it. So what makes it cheaper? Well, the hardware specs aren't that great compared to the Samsung Chromebook 2, and it is made out of cheaper materials, which you can definitely feel, especially on the inside once you open it. However, it could be worth the savings and some cash. So is that the case, or should you rather go for the Samsung Chromebook 2? Let's take a look. So the exterior of this Chromebook is very much like many of Toshiba's other products. On the outside, it has a very fine dimpled surface that feels pretty good. It definitely doesn't feel bad. And it all has the same color, which is also the same on the bottom. And then on the inside, it also has the same color, although the inside does not have any dimples. Let's check out the ports right here. We have an HDMI port, two USB 3.0 ports, a combo headphone and microphone jack, and then on the other side we have a Kensington lock, a power jack, and an SD card reader. Now if you're not sure what some of the ports are, in case you're confused, say for example the power jack and the headphone jack right here, there are some little icons here along the bottom, so you might be able to see here, that will tell you what they are. There's also a fan right here, so this is a Chromebook that does require a fan as it has apparently an older Intel Celeron processor. This 13.3-inch display only has a 1366 by 768 resolution. That means that the pixel density is not as high as, say, in the 11.6-inch Asus Chromebook, which has the same resolution packed into the smaller display. Also, the displays are right, the colors are very good, but the viewing angles aren't that great. So once you start to go over to one side or to the other, it gets dark pretty quickly. And I'm sure in this video, the display does seem pretty dark to you right now, but let me turn up the brightness to the maximum, and it probably still looks kind of dark to you. In real life, it is a little bit brighter than the video shows it, but it, like I said, doesn't have very good viewing angles. Now up here there's also a webcam where Toshiba does not disclose how many megapixels it has, which is kind of a shame, but that's just what they decided to do. Here's also an indicator and a microphone right there. Now the performance for this Chromebook is surprisingly good, considering that it's only a 1.4 GHz dual-core Celeron processor. I tried playing various YouTube videos, even 1080p videos, which the display can't even show properly, and it did it just fine. There were no stutters whatsoever. Any stutters were caused by bad internet for a second, but once it buffered, it just went straight through. That's something that the 11.6-inch Asus Chromebook kind of struggled with, even though it did seem at least to have a better processor on paper. The speakers are actually pretty good too, which was kind of a surprise. And let me turn them on really quick.
Also with me from Connecticut is Mr. Dave LeClaire. Holy crap, that was a big start by me, wasn't it? I am indeed from Connecticut, which is a state in the Union of the United States of America, where we live. Yeah. Everyone
so as you can hear, it is pretty clear, and I also tried playing some music on Spotify, also some songs that had a little bit more bass to them, and they all actually sounded pretty good. Of course, now for a very cheap Chromebook, it's not going to be great, but it definitely has been better than other Chromebooks that I've tried out, which was quite surprising. The keyboard and trackpad are actually pretty good as well. The keyboard's keys have enough space in between them so that you're not accidentally pressing other keys than what you want to press, and the trackpad does a pretty good job as well. It's not that much of a hassle to use. which was surprising at first, because when I first started using this Chromebook, I felt like the keyboard, the keys on them didn't travel very much, so it kind of felt numb typing at first, but eventually that went away. The trackpad was actually even worse. My finger kept on bouncing along whenever I tried to use it at first. And also the cursor barely moved even for the few moments where my finger did not bounce around on the trackpad. However, a software update fixed that, and now just after using the trackpad for a while, I don't have the finger bouncing problem anymore either, so it's actually kind of nice to use. At first I was freaking out because it felt weird and I was having these issues, but they went away, so now I'm totally fine with it. The build quality for this Chromebook is probably one of the few areas where it lacks. So the material right here does feel pretty cheap. Toshiba doesn't really try to mask the fact that this is only a $250 laptop that also has a 13.3-inch display. So this surface right here does feel a little bit cheap. Not like it's going to hurt you or anything or get you into any serious discomfort, but it's not the nicest feeling material. Now the other problem that I had with the build quality was that it didn't take me long to figure out that the Chromebook wasn't completely flat. Excuse me. Now this table is completely flat. It has a glass top, so there aren't any doubts to whether or not it is flat. And if I hold this side down here, you'll see then it kind of bounces around here because the Chromebook is not completely flat. So it probably warped a little bit, like the casing did, for all of the components, or something happened, but so this one foot over here, the rubber foot, is always going to be just a little bit higher than everything else. And after using that for a while, it kind of gets annoying. It really does. I don't really know how else to describe it. I might be a little bit OCD, so for other people that might not be a problem, and maybe other people who get their Toshiba Chromebook won't have that problem. But mine did, and so after using it for a while, every time I put my hand here and it goes down and I feel it hitting the table, it just gets to me after a while. So there you have it. That was a review of the Toshiba CB35 Chromebook. So after all that, can you get this Chromebook? Is it a good purchase, or should you rather get something else? That is a hard choice to make because it does have some really good qualities to it, and then there's some other really just under your skin annoyances that just, at least they bother me a lot. So I would recommend that people try to look for other Chromebooks, potentially smaller ones like the 11.6-inch models, as some of those are still cheaper but really good. Or you can save a little bit more money and get the Samsung Chromebook 2. However, if you really need the bigger screen and the savings because it is cheaper, then go for it, but otherwise it's definitely not my top choice. So for the full review, please head over to makeuseof.com and don't forget to enter the giveaway so that you can win this Chromebook. Thanks for watching.